and help build homes and rebuild.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support. The Walker Arts Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Diani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in February. Learn about our bachelor's degree programs on February 24th, explore master's degrees, doctoral degrees, and graduate certificates on February 26th. Find out about financial aid options and how to apply. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rebuilding Together Minnesota provides critical home repairs and safety modifications at no cost to low-income homeowners, with a focus on supporting BIPOC communities across Minnesota, because everyone deserves a safe place to live. If repairs feel out of reach, help is available. Their work helps older adults stay independent, support families, and strengthens neighborhoods. Apply during the application window through March 31st. Visit rtmn.org and select Apply for Help, or call 651-776-4273. Rebuilding Together Minnesota, where neighbors help neighbors.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 30, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 35. Pick up your unforgettable box of French macarons from Nicolette's Macarons in Plymouth. Nicolette's is conveniently located off Highway 169 and 36th Avenue. Stop in at the store or place your order online at nicolettesmacarons.com.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. Hey, we discuss local, national, Native news and events, and as you know, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues. Hey, we're bringing on our friend right away, Nicole Matthews, Chief Executive Officer. And we're going to be speaking on the upcoming events, but also the great work that Nicole and Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition does. Thank you so much, Nicole. I know you're busy all the time and really appreciate you coming on for a quick segment and giving us a quick update. Pinigigi.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be on. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. I really appreciate you coming on, and let's talk about the event this weekend. And I want to get you on again later on this week so we can amplify this. It's always a beautiful, emotional time on Valentine's Day for a couple reasons, but this is a really good reason.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm really looking forward to our event this year, as I do every year. Our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives rally and march on this Saturday at 11 a.m. starting at the Minneapolis American Indian Center, and then the march will begin at noon. I think we're going to have a lot of people there this year. So, and I'm really excited to be in community. It's been a tough year, and we considered whether or not we should have the event at all. But I'm really glad that we moved forward with it.
Yeah, the Minneapolis American Indian Center is 1530 East Franklin Avenue in Minneapolis, and I'm really glad that you're having it again too, because it is because of tough times. And to me, I've been to quite a few, well, not quite a few, but some events, and it really fills my soul up to see and be in community. So it's really important that we are doing this again.
I agree. It's, in this difficult time, the community events is kind of what gives me life. And so, even though we are there to, talk about and raise awareness about our relatives who are missing or who have been murdered, it also feels good to be in community together. And also to feel like, we have all of us together that are working on this issue.
Definitely, and I just wanna, I know you're very busy, you're out of state right now, and I really, really appreciate you coming in, and we're gonna do this again this week. Just talk a little bit about the organization that you are chief executive officer on too, so our people know who you are.
Yeah, so I'm with the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition. In March, it'll be 24 years I've been there. I know. I know, long time. So we started out as a statewide tribal coalition that's still kind of the heart of who we are in Minnesota, working with our communities and our advocates and people. But we also have a large national training and technical assistance project. So we provide training and support to tribes and tribal organizations across the U.S. that are providing direct services to victims of sexual assault and sex trafficking, and as
Yeah,
well as
definitely.
missing and murdered Indigenous relatives.
Absolutely. And one of the things too, if you don't mind, we talk a little bit to our listeners out there about what goes on during the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives March. I know it's pretty emotional and maybe something for them to wear too, because I know I'll be wearing red.
Yes, please wear red, whether it's a red hat, a red jacket, a red shirt. Whatever it is. I think that's red is our color that we always see a lot of. There's also some art events on Friday that I want to highlight. So Friday, February 13th, we are hosting an art event at the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center on 2300 15th Avenue South from 2 to 7 p.m., where we'll have sign making. We also have some coloring books that were designed by Native artists that we'll have there. We have some for kids and some for adults. Also from noon to 6 p.m., the Minneapolis Indian Ed office is hosting an art event at the Davis Center, 1250 West Broadway. And they will be doing screen printing with Courtney Cochran, which we always do prior to the event. And so bring a t-shirt if you want to have screen printing done, bring a t-shirt. If you are a student of Minneapolis Public Schools, you do not have to bring a t-shirt. They will be providing them for you.
That's awesome. And Nicole, I always want to bring this up too, and we kind of joke about this too. Once you put these on your, like if you have a red hoodie or a red shirt, remember to dry them in the dryer so it soaks in good, right?
Yes, I've learned that the hard way. One time I washed it and then I was like, wait, where's my screen printing? Yes, dry them first and then you can wash them.
Yeah, I know we've joked about that over the years, but again, this March, we have people that come and speak. You MC it. We talk. We have relatives come up that have missing relatives, and it's very emotional. That's one of the heaviest times, but also to have that voice for our community that, MMIR is a real thing. And, these last 10 years of being on the radio, I've really learned so much about it. And because of this march and because of your organization.
Thank you. Yes, we're going to have some great speakers. We'll have some family members who are going to come and talk about their relatives who are still missing. And then we will also have, some community speakers, some legislative speakers. I know our Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan, will be there and will be speaking. So I think it's going to be a great event. It always is. It is a heavy event. So, so come prepared and, but it'll be good to be together.
Well, one of my favorite speakers yearly is a group of people from Chicago that come in and support. Can you talk a little bit about them? Because this is for everybody that supports what your organization's doing, but what supports our community.
Yeah, so we have partnered with an organization called A Long Walk Home for many years, and they work on addressing sexual violence in Chicago, and they work with Black women and girls, and they started coming to our marches, and they started doing raising awareness about missing and murdered Black women and girls in Chicago. And so they have come in years past, they have brought like 10, 15 people, and they bring their young people who have come and done spoken word and poetry, and it's really beautiful to also have, be in solidarity with all of our relatives and with other communities, and to see people stepping up and supporting each other, because I think especially in these times, it's really important that we show up for each other. And, we're certainly seeing in Minnesota, our neighbors, our community members really stepping up for each other. And I hope people keep that momentum for our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives all the time, not just this year.
Exactly. And this is Nicole Matthews, a CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition. And we'll see everyone February 14th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Minneapolis American Indian Center. Nicole, I'll see you later on this week. Peeny Gigi for on, and a great update. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Take care.
We'll see you soon. We'll be right back with Dr. Stately. Oh,
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rebuilding Together Minnesota provides critical home repairs and safety modifications at no cost to low-income homeowners, with a focus on supporting BIPOC communities across Minnesota, because everyone deserves a safe place to live. If repairs feel out of reach, help is available. Their work helps older adults stay independent, support families, and strengthens neighborhoods. Apply during the application window through March 31st. Visit rtmn.org and select Apply for Help, or call 651-776-4273. Rebuilding Together Minnesota, where neighbors help neighbors. The Walker Arts Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Deani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist. The exhibition celebrating Whitehawk closes on February 15th, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no two colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
I'm Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, and I want to be your next United States Senator, and you are listening to Native Roots Radio.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are with our friend Dr. Stately, CEO of Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, and always great to have you on, Dr. Stately. I don't. You're not a football fan, are you?
Not dyed in the wool football fan, but yeah, I'm a hockey fan. Yeah.
Did you see the halftime show?
Oh yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
Right on. I just gotta have a response from you. I got a couple of things I wanted to say about that, and one of them that was ironic for me, how the MAGA and the right wing are just like upset about the whole English thing or the Spanish thing, and I'm just going, have they never been to an opera? I mean, are they not cultured?
I'm sure they have been to the opera, but they probably didn't know what that was either.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, how racist do you want to show that you are? I mean, just by saying these idiotic things.
I've seen some of those posts on Facebook, those memes, and I'm just, and I was laughing. I was laughing this afternoon reading some of them. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. It makes me think about like, it's similar to, not exactly the same, but similar to, like, remember when the name Lake Calhoun got changed to its original name, Madame Makaska. Yeah. And people were like, I don't know how to say that. And it's like, well, you didn't know how to say any words at one point in time. And
yeah,
you learned.
Right. It's the struggle's real,
I mean, I know, like, good Lord, turn on your Google Translator if you didn't know what the words were saying.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one of the posts that I reposted, and I wrote it out so people thought I came up with it, but of course I stole it from somebody, is that the people who wanted a separate halftime show are the same people who wanted separate water fountains, and I thought that's true. Right on.
True, yeah.
They
wanted yeah. Now that this happened, I'm almost certain, I want to be the first person to say this, and I want it recorded so that I'm able to take advantage of like being the first person to say it. Right?
Yes.
I'm sure that he's going to come out in some way in the next couple of days, if he hasn't done it already, and say, next year we're launching the Big Beautiful Bowl.
Oh, God.
And it will be the most super of all of them. And we won't allow any people to not speak anything but English.
God. Well, it was a record amount. 143 million people watched the halftime show, and 4 million, or maybe I saw as high as 6 million, saw the poop show of Kid Rock and his lip syncing.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Yeah. Go on.
I mean, as Native Americans, we are used to this and seeing the hypocrisy of all this BS. It's just like, come on out and say it. You're racist. Come on.
Yeah. Well, they have fragile egos. They can't say that. That would mean they'd have to actually be courageous and be and have some humility, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. That requires real strength, and they don't have that.
It's funny too. I didn't send that, because I'm a little slow, and I didn't really realize that the group before them, I couldn't understand what they were singing either. So, and they're English or they're American. So they had a few things to say about Trump, and I had to rewind it and go, did they really say that? But again, that's because of my age. What the heck was the name of their group again? Shoot,
I remember.
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but I don't remember their name off the top of my head.
Maybe Patrick, are you? Wait, see if Patrick, are you on? Help us? We're old people, and
we're old people. I remember what happened yesterday.
Yeah, or what I had for lunch. Patrick, what was the name of the group? Please help us.
I'm sorry, what group?
The one before the God Bless America.
Yeah.
The Green Day?
Yes, thank
you.
you.
Yeah, Green Day, yes.
Yeah. And I didn't understand what they were singing either, so I was just like, I looked like one of those guys confused in a chair, until God Bless America, which came out with one of my favorite artists who's gay, and right on NFL. I don't know if they know they're doing this because they run their organizations like with their football players. They don't believe in the brain damage or any of the they run it like a plantation, but they're for the money. They want to get all these famous people out there, so they open up their brand.
Yeah, I was like, so the yesterday after morning, or I think in the morning, I was listening to one of my favorite radio shows on the station we don't talk about. It's Wait, Don't Tell Me, and they were talking.
I love that show.
Me too. It's my favorite show ever. And they were talking about the thing and they couldn't say the names of the teams that were playing. They couldn't they could only just kind of describe it in abstract, football, the Super Bowl, because you have to, apparently on the radio, you have to have licensing to actually say the name of what they were saying. I was like, Jesus, we've reached an all-time ridiculous level of ridiculousness here. I'm gonna start to license my own name, so then if you say my name on the radio, you got to pay me $1 every time you say it. I'm looking into that.
Thank you, Bob. Dr. Bob.
But what I loved about some of the stuff that just cracked me up and made me laugh. First of all, gotta tell you, really, really happy that my Seahawks won. My sons are dyed-in-the-wool Seahawks fans, so they were super awesome. They won too. Yeah, and I just made little friendly cash from a simple bet I made with my family member, and got $10 or something like that. So that was pretty cool.
Really good.
But it was a really great show to watch. There was one point in time where I was like, I think there was I was confused because I thought one of them was running in the wrong direction. I was like, wait, didn't something like this happen a couple of days?
Or Jim Marshall never lived that.
Yeah, never lived that down.
60s, Jesus.
And apparently, I was wrong. So I thought they were running in the wrong direction, but it turns out I was wrong. But it was a good show. I didn't really watch it very closely. I watched it mostly when it was getting close to where my numbers were going to show up. Then I was really invested.
Yes.
So
yes. Well, prior to that, it was a banner week, but I'm really, again, we talk about this, or I talk about this to you, Dr. Stately, is that how upset I am with mainstream media. J.D. Vance was booed at the Olympics, and even our friends at NBC edited that out, and God knows what they put in there. And that's another one. If you rebroadcast anything from the Olympics, they're going to sue you.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Did you? I saw this on Facebook or somehow, maybe a TikTok, I think is what it was. Because a friend of mine sent it to me. It's like, look, J.D. Vance has slugged his wife on international television. He's shaking his hands, and he goes like this and smacks her on her on top of her shoulder. I was like, that woman is pregnant. You should not be hitting her in public or even in private. But it was just kind of crazy. He's a nut job, that guy too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that with the utmost respect of The Office, but he's
he's in we don't want to get sued. He's a alleged nut job.
Yeah, he's an alleged nut job who allegedly punched his wife on camera.
Bad Bunny's, more of an American than both Vance and the Orange One's wives. So that's just another amazing thing there.
Yeah, it's yeah. I thought the show was amazing. I loved that, I love the imagery of the truck and the plantain fields. I think probably was it was.
Yes.
Like, I was trying to
Yeah.
I was like, it's not corn because obviously it's from Puerto Rico, and I love the whole piece with them climbing on the electrical poles, which is like and I get it. Everyone's like, everyone's pissed off or irritated because on the mega, right? They should be irritated and pissed off because he's using and he took advantage. He's a really, really intelligent human being. He took advantage of the fact that it's likely he knows how the world works. He knows how racist it is. He knows that he's probably never going to get on that stage ever again. Right? He has his one opportunity and he took it. He made a political statement and it was a really important one. Like, let's just uncover all this stuff that you're not talking about. Right? And all the damage that colonialism and imperialism has been doing to his people and all of the indigenous people all over the planet, which is, they should be embarrassed and they should be upset.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I like this, the way this is going here. This is Native Roots Radio, and we are here with Dr. Stately, Native American Community Clinic here in Minneapolis. And then I want to ask you, too, an update about your building. Every time I drive by that place, it's just like, this is beautiful. This is just beautiful.
Getting the Bad Bunny to dance on top of that roof when we open.
Yeah. Hey, Native Roots Radio, we'll be right back. The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio, rooted in Lakota aesthetics of geometry, color, and pattern. Deani Whitehawk's abstractions are rich in meaning, honoring generations of Native artists. Explore her wide-ranging practice, including vivid beading paintings, sculptures, and video installations, and Deani Whitehawk's love language. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. Plan your visit and get tickets at walkerart.org.
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in February. Learn about our bachelor's degree programs on February 24th. Explore master's degrees, doctoral degrees, and graduate certificates on February 26th. Find out about financial aid options and how to apply. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rebuilding Together Minnesota provides critical home repairs and safety modifications at no cost to low-income homeowners, with a focus on supporting BIPOC communities across Minnesota, because everyone deserves a safe place to live. If repairs feel out of reach, help is available. Their work helps older adults stay independent, support families, and strengthens neighborhoods. Apply during the application window through March 31st. Visit rtmn.org and select Apply for Help, or call 651-776-4273. Rebuilding Together Minnesota, where neighbors help neighbors. Oh, this is Robert Pilot. For Native relatives, healing is more than just sobriety. It's reclaiming Indigenous masculinity as a sacred, balanced force. Join Hunter Thundercloud for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. We explore how personal recovery uplifts our communities. It's time men step back into roles as mentors and spiritual leaders. Recovery is collective, and it starts with us. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. for Native Roots Radio presents Controlled Fire. Let's tend the fire together.
Thinking about college? Consider Minnesota Private Colleges. These 18 nonprofit institutions keep the focus on students with small classes and professors who will get to know you. You'll find students from all backgrounds, and no 2 colleges are alike. And when it comes to cost, they're more affordable than you think. Find the college that's right for you at mnprivatecolleges.org/possible. That's mnprivatecolleges.org/possible.
The Walker Art Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Diani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist. The exhibition celebrating Whitehawk closes on February 15th, centered on connection between one another, past and present, earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Tonight, cloudy with a low of 30, then Tuesday, sunshine with a high of 35. Pick up your unforgettable box of French macarons from Nicolette's Macarons in Plymouth. Nicolette's is conveniently located off Highway 169 and 36th Avenue. Stop in at the store or place your order online at nicolettesmacarons.com. ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. We are with our friend Dr. Stately, Native American Community I knew I was going to do that one of these times. Native American Community Clinic, and here out of the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And I was in shock. Bad Bunny had Pedro Pascal, Cardi B, Jessica Alba, and a whole bunch of other people in there. I mean, it's just like I've just had good feelings through the whole thing. There was a couple that was getting married. And the reason why they were showcased, they got married during the Super Bowl, was that they invited Bad Bunny to their wedding. So it's just all these little, I guess they call them Easter eggs.
Of course, that's great. Could have called them. That's better than droppings, you know.
Yeah. And we have a lot of those in our backyard because we seem to feed rabbits all night and day. But that's a whole nother story, I think, or a whole nother show.
I think he did such an amazing job. I'm gonna have him come back, or maybe somebody that looks like him come back. And when we do our grand opening at the new NAC building, we'll have him dancing on the rooftop. And, and his name will be, the Ojibwe word for Bad Bunny, which is Majiwa Booze.
Hey, I just want to make sure that either in the lobby or on the grand opening that we have that colon there,
The rolling colon. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to order it and have it put in front of your house.
Yeah. Along with a bouncy room for my grandchildren. They can bounce in the colon. Shoot.
The bouncing.
Oh, where is this show going right now? But yeah, I did the misnomer though of sharing the picture of the young child that at first report they said was the young boy that was taken away, but it was just a lookalike and an actor. But still, I love that scene where he gave him his Grammy.
Yeah. The you mean Little Liam? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think that was him, but.
No, it wasn't, but I shared it as if he was, and then people called me out, and I had to delete my enthusiastic post of of the wrong thing again. So follow us for local news and sports.
I would imagine if I was the parent of that child, I wouldn't want him necessarily getting any more attention.
Yeah, definitely.
Ari will be that picture of him, and he will represent something that's iconic and a specific sort of indelible mark on American history for years and years and years, decades.
Yeah, so definitely.
I would. Are you a parent? They wouldn't want him to be featured in that way, maybe.
Right. Are you an Olympic person? Because again, we've been watching that, but also I'm just so disappointed even in NBC and, there's riots going on outside the Olympics against ICE and things like that. So, I mean, our message here out of Minneapolis is strong and good all over the world.
Honestly, I haven't watched any of the Olympics. I think I watched like a moment or two of it. Like, all of this requires me to like sit down and like, watch the television for several hours, which I don't really do unless I'm binging like a TV show that I want to watch. I think I've told you this before. Like, I have this thing about like watching series on streaming platforms. Like, I did this with Res Dogs. I didn't watch the show every week. I wanted to like wait until the entire thing was released.
Oh.
And then I watched the entire thing like over a weekend.
You're like Wendy.
Huh?
She forgets half the stuff. Come on now.
Well, like if you have to wait the week for the next week for the other, then you forget what happened the week before, and it's like anyway, And if I'm gonna have a good laugh, I want to do it for several hours in a row. I want to, I'm just kidding.
Well, you must not watch The Pit, because that's one of our favorite shows now, and we can't handle the wait every week.
I haven't watched that yet. So.
Oh, you should. And then we should do a show similar to that from Native American Community Clinic, because it's amazing. It's realistic, and it's amazing acting, and I'm hooked.
There's moments when I have this idea, like I'm like, like we have crazy moments at the clinic where things are just really crazy and goofy, and I'm like, okay, one day when I write a book, I'm gonna like write this stuff into like my memoir. I won't name names because people will be obviously, embarrassed with the things they either do or say. But I'm like, but some of it's like literally, it's just we have our fun moments. We have moments of like where someone doesn't behave well, and and thank God we don't have cameras rolling in the clinic. But I think one of the things I would like I think like we would be something like a cross between like that IHS clinic and Res Dogs and the Pit. We'd be somewhere in the middle.
There'd be no operating like the Pit though, because that's one that I get a little
no, we won't operate.
Cutting open. But yeah, I can see that. I love our community, and I can see all these things happening there.
Yeah. I'm excited for the new building because it'll be bigger and more expansive. We'll provide more services. Like we're going from like 5 dental chairs to like 12, which is really, really amazing and important. And we got the investment. And I was actually really surprised, like the last meeting I was in, about how much the equipment was going to cost. I thought it was going to be millions and millions and millions of dollars. It wasn't quite that much, but I'm excited about that because we have the worst oral health in the state of Minnesota. Native people do. We have like kids, in our communities that are like have full metal mouth by the time they're 3. Like they haven't even lost their baby teeth yet, and they're like either rotting out of their mouth or they have it covered with caps, metal caps. So but one of the things I'm really excited about is I have this amazing dental director who I've been talking about like how we're going to sort of kind of start to bite off some of this work and really improve. Sorry, that was a pun, right? Bite off.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a little late.
Yeah, there you go. Delayed reaction. I'm an elder, by the way. But we're gonna like try to do some of this work because it's really important. I think one of the things our communities don't really understand when it comes to dental health or oral health, which is like it is like foundational in practically every it's a foundational part of your health. Like if the diseases or the infections that you can get within your mouth, and I mean, think about it, your mouth is right next to it's near all the main arteries, it's right next to your head and your brain, it's really close to your heart and all of your organs that are like going to rely on like your blood flow and stuff like that. those cause really significant challenges for us over our lifetime. And like, if we can do a better job of improving children's oral health, like very early in their age, like, 1, 2, 3 years old, by the time they're, and get them to a place where they are practicing better oral hygiene, taking care of their oral health, and getting those things done regularly, we might be able to significantly reduce the impact of some of those related diseases later in their life, which are really important.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, I have veneers, and because I had issues as a 40-year-old man that I was not taking care of, even though I'd had dental program with St. Paul Public Schools. I was, I don't know, in denial.
Well, America has not done a very good job with dental health, oral health at large. We're not the only community that suffers, but we have the worst for sure. But across the United States, I think that's true of a lot of really very, very poor communities, specifically, or people who don't have resources to be able to pay for oral health care. Your dental insurance doesn't pay for a lot of it pays
Right.
preventative only. Restorative is like, it becomes really expensive for you to restore something, which is, historically everybody like jokes about how IHS is, known for pulling teeth. There's a reason for that. It's expensive to restore, right? So like if you have 1/3 of the budget that you should have as a health system, you can't be spending all your money fixing teeth when there's all of these other conditions, and it's expensive to restore them. It's like there's some real significant problems with our health system writ large that are not necessarily about the actual people that work in them. It's as much the structure of the system as it is anything else. Like, I was listening to that radio station we don't talk about. I was listening to like a discussion about this. They, we are we are literally the wealthiest country in the world. We're in the top 1% of the wealth, and we have the worst and the most expensive healthcare system, the worst in all of the developed countries, right?
I believe that. And what was exciting, and I just have to give a plug to the lieutenant governor. I was at a fundraiser for her, and also saw her during caucuses. I caucused, but what she's talking about now is something that really irritated me when I see Trump doing all these things, and the Democrats could not get us universal health care. She is committed to do that, and that's the way we should be fighting now. Is that, because that'll be a game changer, and it'll be a game changer for the economy because people won't be married to their job too.
This is true. It'll be better for us in so many ways. I mean, the amount of I think some of it has to do with like, I'm not, I'm no Einstein here, but I think I know a thing or two about right? I'm getting old like him. I have like little things on the side of my head.
Your little hair.
Like him, little gray hairs. But a lot of it also has to do with like the structure of the system itself, the payment system and all those things. So if we did away with all of that, we wouldn't, we had universal health care. Think about like the likelihood that there would be no fraud, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, no doubt. That's a good call. Hey, we are here with Dr. Stately, and we got one more segment to share and talk a little bit more about NPR. We'll be right back after this short break. Ho!
Ever wonder how far you could go with a bachelor's or master's degree? Metro State University is hosting 2 open house events in February. Learn about our bachelor's degree programs on February 24th. Explore master's degrees, doctoral degrees, and graduate certificates on February 26th. Find out about financial aid options and how to apply. Discover how Metro State can help you take the next step in your career. Sign up today at metrostate.edu/open house. You belong at Metro.
The Walker Arts Center is a proud supporter of Native Roots Radio. Visit Diani Whitehawk, Love Language, an exhibition that celebrates the Sichangu Lakota artist, centered on connection between one another, past and present. earth and sky, and traditions of Lakota abstraction. Love Language is a sweeping survey of Whitehawk's work. The Walker is always free on Thursday nights, and citizens and members of tribal nations always get free admission. More info at walkerart.org.
The city of Minneapolis is now on Native Roots Radio with Minneapolis AIR. AIR stands for American Indian Relations. Guest host Christine McDonald talks to people about important things affecting the city's Native communities. Minneapolis AIR dives into topics like public safety, public health, elections, and so much more. Tune in to Minneapolis AIR on Native Roots Radio from 5 to 6 p.m. on the second Wednesday of every month, right here on AM 950.
Rebuilding Together Minnesota provides critical home repairs and safety modifications at no cost to low-income homeowners, with a focus on supporting BIPOC communities across Minnesota, because everyone deserves a safe place to live. If repairs feel out of reach, help is available. Their work helps older adults stay independent, support families, and strengthens neighborhoods. Apply during the application window through March 31st. Visit rtmn.org and select Apply for Help, or call 651-776-4273. Rebuilding Together Minnesota, where neighbors help neighbors.
Hi, this is Representative Sharice Davids from Kansas. I'm Ho Chunk, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Hey, we are with our friend Dr. Stately, CEO and Executive Director at Native American Community Clinic here in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis. And again, just I bring it up every time we talk, but I'm just so amazed and so happy, and with the new clinic that's being built, that's just, to me, it's just amazing to see that, and to be on Franklin Avenue and knowing what Franklin Avenue was 50, 60 years ago, and how it's now the Native Corridor and really shining bright.
Yeah, no, it is quite amazing. I think the corridor has been transforming quite a bit over the last decade or so. I think that one of the things, this about me, I moved to California, to the West Coast, when I was in my early 20s, my early sobriety, right, and only came back in 2009 after being gone for almost 25 years. And I came home to a completely different community in many ways, right? At least physically changed. When I lived here as a young man, there were still bars. There was like 6 bars over the span of like 3 blocks, right?
Yep.
And things were much different then. And just in the last 10 years, 15 years or so, give or take, of me being back home here in South Minneapolis, like so much has changed already. And there's more planned for the corridor than just our building, right? So Indian Health Board's building too down the street,
Yeah, that's going up quick too.
Yep. And then Sean Sherman bought the creamery. Natives and his nonprofit bought the creamery, and they're changing that, and that's going to become so. And I think it's really cool because it sort of extends the distance of the corridor all the way down to almost the river, which is pretty cool, right? The creamery is only a couple blocks from the river.
Mm-hmm.
These are wonderful examples of like how, even in the face of like some of the most challenging times, our most challenging times, when we have this pretty overt imperialism happening around us, right?
Exactly.
Acts of just structural racism, colonization, all of the things happening to us, the attempts to sort of like, challenge our sovereignty, challenge all these things about us. Like the way it was, what I love about our community and what I love about our culture is that all these things happen, but still we rise, right? It's kind of like, it's a testament to the strength of our communities. It's a testament to the strength of our unity and our commitment to one another, taking care of one another, and providing support to each other. It's not to say that we don't have our problems in our community. We certainly have our problems.
Mhm.
All communities, right? You know, um, it's really quite remarkable. I'm really just very happy and very proud to be one of a group of people have been able to contribute to this shift and this change and in this
Yeah.
in this specific place, right? One, it certainly is noteworthy. I think it's important for me to say, like, I never thought that I'd ever do something of this nature, right? That, like,
Mm.
and there's times when I tell people this still, I'm like, I'm just a kid from the South Side. Like, I'm not sure how I ended up here in some ways. I mean, I did the work but there's
Mhm.
plenty of people who went to college and did the work and did all these other things that didn't get to do these kinds of things. But the point is that, I mean, I say this to everybody that will listen to me, and in this case, it's our listenership tonight. Like
Mhm.
when I don't know how I'm going to do a thing that I think needs to get done, that's really important, it's going to help the community. When I don't know how I'm going to do it, and there's a lot of times when I don't know how I'm going to do it, I start with prayer. I put down tobacco and I ask, Creator and our ancestors to come and cut my path or cut our path and ask for them to be standing behind us and helping us get to where we want to be. And
Mm.
this building is an amazing, it's my love letter to the community. This is the community that where I was born and raised. They made me the man I am. They laid that foundation, and my parents laid that foundation. All those leaders from the late 60s and early 70s, when I was born and raised here in South Minneapolis, they taught me how to show up and how
Mm.
to, like, say the things that needed to be said, even regardless if it was going to hurt somebody or hurt somebody's feelings. To hear the truth, that I had to speak the truth, right? And so
Yeah.
it's a great
Wow.
gift to the community, but it's also a really great gift to me, an opportunity to be part of that, which is a once in a lifetime thing, I think.
Well, I'm blessed to know you and also see your journey, at least the last, 5, 6 years you've been on the show, and how that community and how the clinic has come to fruition because of tenacity and not saying no and knowing you're doing the right thing for the community.
Mm.
That's and then all the ancestors behind you, like you were talking about your mother.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah. I think about her sometimes. She came into my head the other day. I forget. I was like, there's something I was kind of struggling with, and I just thought, like, I had this moment where I was like, okay, what would my mom do? So then I just kind of closed my eyes and I was like, okay, I need your help here. Right. And then sometimes this is all we have to say is just, I need
Mhm.
your help. And so, I certainly have some challenges going on right now with my 18-year-old sons, and, love them to death, but they are also sometimes my biggest challenge. I
Yeah.
jokingly said the other day, I said, it's been harder to launch them as young men than it was to actually raise the money for the building. This this thing feels like it's gonna kill me, like, launching.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Well, the good thing is, and I experienced this as a young person and, my recovery trip is that I was blessed to have a good, very good, foundation that I could fall back on after, years of being, I guess an idiot and that, so I could it was easily changeable because of the foundation I had. And you're giving those guys a great foundation.
well, thank you, I appreciate that. I mean, when I said that to her, I was like, I did have this moment where I just hear her say things to me sometimes where I can still hear the sound of her voice too. And she was just like, okay, you were way worse than they are.
Yep,
So I can hear us saying it in my ear. Cut them some slack. You were way worse than they were.
Well, I always told students too, it's not a race.
Yeah.
Find who you are, and it's not a race.
Yeah. I mean, they're on their discovery journey, and and then the thing is that, it's like, I don't know, I feel like Rodney Dangerfield sometimes. Like, I just want them to have a little respect for me, right?
Mm. Yeah, that's and I've always been told too is that you really don't become friends with your kids until they're their 30s, and
Oh God, yes, I know.
yeah, so I
Somebody said
mean,
they're gonna be like 30 something by the time they understand what you've done for them, and then they express some gratitude. I said, well, I think by the time they're 30, I'm gonna be like 80 something or 90, and I don't know that I'm gonna even remember it.
come up to the Godfather and kiss his ring and say, "You were right, Dr. Stately,
Yeah, it's too
father."
time for me to like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can only hope, and we're going to see him. Thank you so much for coming on, and really, we kind of just spitball when we do the show, and it's always a beautiful thing with you, and we have good stories and good feelings towards each other in our community, and a big peanut Dr. Stately.
Well, Chimigwich, thank you. I appreciate being here.
Right on. Hey, this is Native Roots Radio, and we'll see you tomorrow. If you're still listening to the show, you are part of the resistance. We're still here. We are the seventh generation.